fighting out of the red corner, standing 6 feet tall, weighing in at 148.6 pounds, currently undefeated at 1-0 for Excite MMA. Make some noise for Xavier Jimenez.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have Xavier Jimenez coming out. This guy goes by the moniker of the Kaka Warrior. I hope I did not say that wrong, because if I did, I am sorry. He has a record of 1-0. Fighting Styles MMA. Where is he fighting out of, Mark?
He's fighting out of Excite MMA with Mark Balcher and Dustin Smith. I believe he has Carson Gregory as a training partner.
Yeah, Carson Gregory is actually also one of their coaches.
Yeah.
Who's at his full-time job every time he comes out is, I teach people how to fight and I fight. That's all I do.
Yeah, so that means he's probably going to be a little unorthodox, powerful, fast, and a handful to deal with.
And used to getting punched.
Yeah, and they scrap down there.
Yeah, they do. Especially when you got guys that like to get punched in the face, training with you every single day.
When that's your style, it seems to happen.
Yeah. All right, he said he got started by just showing up at the gym. So, I mean, there's worse ways to get into it.
Oh, absolutely worse ways. And, training first is always a great idea.
Yeah, it gives you that level before you come in. There's so many people that come into this sport first and then learn how to fight. We've seen a few of those tonight.
Yeah, so we've seen a few of those. Look at Xavier, though. You look at his body development. You look at the way he's moving. He's showing some signs that he's been in the cage working on things the right way.
Yeah, well, he's got good side-to-side movement just coming in, but on top of that, he's also had a fight. So he's got a little bit in here. Let's see what his opponent looks like.
Hi, Matt. His opponent tonight going to be fighting out of the black corner, standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 149.8 pounds, and making his amateur debut. For elite performance, let's hear it for Slade Nevarez.
I love this Halloween theme we got going on tonight.
What a great time of year. It's cooled down a little bit. It's crisp outside. The air tastes great, and you get to see great masks and great music for fights.
Put a little chill in your heart before you come out and get some blood pumping. All right, Slade Nevarez coming out. He goes by Nevarez. He wanted to make sure I said that the right way, so he put it out phonetically for me. He's training out there with Coach Scrappy James Francis.
Yeah, over at Jeremy Horn's Elite Performance. So great team over that way.
Outstanding. His fighting style is freestyle. Weighed in about 145 pounds. He said this is a catch weight, or he normally 145. He says this is a catch weight at 150. What did he say as far as like getting into fighting, why he got in and everything else?
He said he's wanted to fight for years. It's been a dream of his, but he didn't feel ready until he just got training over at Jeremy Horn's. And I can say that will get you ready. Those guys are professionals over that way.
Jeremy Horn has probably the most fights. I know at one time he was the fightingest athlete in MMA.
Yeah, so you can go by his online record and you can then ask him. His actual record is closer to 400 fights, which is an incredible number.
And I know a lot of those were in areas like on reservations and places where there were no sanctioned athletic commissions to record the fights.
Yeah, not just that, but they were tournaments too, which means multiple fights in a night, which is a whole wealth of an experience in itself.
Right, because you're beat and then fighting, and then beat and then fighting
again and again and again, which is no longer a thing that we do.
All right, so I got to say, I think what he was waiting for to be ready to get in here was that mustache.
Yeah, that mustache took more than a minute to grow, but it is very professionally groomed and looks sharp right now.
It looks amazing, and I want to know who he goes to get that thing styled. So as far as what he does for a day job, he says he's an independent personal trainer. What does he say about fighting for Steel Fist?
It says it will be a dream come true. He's wanted to fight for years, and the fact that Steel Fist has given him a platform and a stage is absolutely amazing.
All right, well, I think Dave's got something he wants to say real quick before we get
All
started.
right, gang, we're on hold for just a minute. Appreciate your patience. We've got EMTs dealing with a situation, so we are on hold for just a minute. We'll get the fight started as soon as we get a thumbs up. Real quick chance to give a shout out to all of our sponsors, like Extreme Fitness, Extreme Fire Protection. How about D Extreme Taxidermy? Jones Subwoofer Solutions. If you like the cars that go boom, you got to talk to these boys at Jones Subwoofer Solutions. JSS, remember that. Might be related to Vapor Mania. While you're there, get yourself hooked up with some vape, e-cig, and make your car sound a heck of a lot better. Breaking Bad bail bonds in the house. Zabriskie Law Firm, the best in criminal defense. Mr. Zabriskie, look him up. All of our cool sponsors. Did I leave anybody out? Oh yeah, the Bud Girls are in the house tonight. Make sure when you go upstairs, you grab some buds. Take care of them and everybody at your table. We're just gonna wait a couple more minutes till we get a thumbs up from everybody. Make sure this person is all right. Don't forget, November 16th, that's another Friday night. We'll be right back here at the Union Event Center. Gonna do a 21 and over event, so we'll have all the bars open downstairs. All the cool kids will be here before Thanksgiving. November 16th, make sure you put that on your calendar. While we're waiting, I got one vendor that's out there that would love to talk to you underneath the lights. My buddy Zach Partridge, Farm Bureau Insurance. They do home, auto, and life insurance. If you go give them your contact information right now, we're going to do a couple of drawings tonight. We're going to give away some damage plan goodies if you talk to Zach Partridge with Farm Bureau Insurance. And then they're going to give away a grand prize before you go home tonight. I got a pair of VIP tickets to that November 16th fight. So go talk to Zach Partridge. Go check out the booth, Farm Bureau Insurance, home, auto, and life. They do it all back there, right by Damage Plan. We got Steel Fist Fightwear in the house. We got a bunch of cool goodies. It's never too early to start shopping for December.
So if you've never been to a live show, then one of the things you have to know with the Utah Athletic Commission
might be a good time to visit Wyoming upstairs. Go
that
introduce yourself to the bartender.
Dave
Be
likes
nice
to
to
interrupt
the
me.
servers.
That's one thing that you need to know. The other thing is the Athletic Commission
And
requires
remember,
not
don't
only a
shoot the messenger.
cage-side
That's all I'm
doctor
asking you.
at the
Don't
show,
shoot the
but we
messenger.
also require EMTs be present. And if the EMTs are back working on someone like our last fighter, Jeff Rayborn is actually back there. They're making sure he's okay from this fight. And if they're busy working with that fighter, they can't start the next fight until those EMTs are available to assist in case of an emergency.
Right. As a physician plays one role in a checkout, an EMT, a first responder, plays an entirely different role. And having those guys cage side is paramount and important to everybody's safety. And they'll be back pretty quickly.
And, you know, the thing that really sucks about it, because, you know, it's great that it takes care of the fighters and it makes sure everybody's safe. But the thing that really sucks is the guys that are in the cage right now, because they didn't know before they walked out. And you get a big adrenaline dump as you start walking into the cage.
Mentioned all the sponsors.
And, you know,
talked
as
about
you're getting
all of
ready
them. What
and
else
you
can
know
we
that
talk
it's
about
happening
while
and you're
we're
walking
waiting?
out, you
I
get
got
that
some
last
buddies in the
minute.
house tonight. You want to talk about a Salt
rush
Lake
of
City
nerves
right before you go into the lights, yeah.
22
And when you
years
sit here,
cruising
what
some of
happens
the
is your body
coolest
cools down,
sleds you've
and that
ever
adrenaline
seen.
drains out, and you get the
wanna
lactic
make sure you
acid
check
build up
out
in your
the Unlucky
muscles and
Ones car
everything
club in
else.
the
Right
house
now,
tonight.
it's the
We'll
right
talk
time
more
of year.
about
If
them a
this
little
was
bit later.
summer, they were running air
22 years in
conditioners.
Salt Lake.
I'd have my
cruising
fighter
around
back
in
out of the
some
cage. I'd
wicked
have
cool
putting
rides.
sweats on and getting
Appreciate
back
them coming out
warmed
to
up.
hang out with us.
Right now,
we
the temperature's
appreciate
okay.
everybody
Their
coming out to
bodies are
Steel Fist
adjusting.
Fight Night.
I'd
Make
rather
sure
not see
you
them
check us
ice,
out
but
on
at least it's not
Facebook.
running the air
Be
conditioner.
a
They're not
lovely
dying.
Amanda.
Right, but one thing that you can
on
see
break right now,
visually
much
from
deserved.
both
But
of these
she's our
guys,
in-house
when they first came
photographer.
out, they
She'll
were
be cruising around
pacing
taking pictures
kind
in
of
the
heavily,
audience.
side-to-side
Maybe you get a picture
movement,
up here
getting
in the
ready,
ring.
letting their
She
muscles just
posts
kind
them all on
of get
Facebook.
limber and
She's
loose
available
while they're waiting for the fight to
weddings,
start.
bar
And if you look
mitzvahs.
at them
Well,
now,
just
they're
now,
very
this girl just
slow.
goes fights.
They're
Yes.
they're
She takes
moving
good
very
care of us at
slow,
Steel Fist
not
Fight
necessarily
Night.
sluggish.
Check us out on
but
Facebook. We're on the
lethargically.
Instagram. We're
yes,
all over the
lethargically,
place.
because that
We're
energy
just
level
going
is
to make
just
sure that
gone.
this
Well,
audience
not just
member
that, but
is
if
all
you
right
work with a
before
great
we
coach,
start
they've got you
throwing
doing a lot of
blows in here.
visualizing, and you never visualize coming down to the cage and standing here for 5 to 10 minutes.
No, you do not. You
You
come out,
visualize walking to the cage,
they walk to the
pumping
cage,
fists,
and then it's on.
lock it, and they fight.
Yep. And waiting, 5 to 10 minutes inside the cage to start the fight, it messes with people. I've known fighters that when they fight against somebody else that they have a grudge against, they will always ask to come out second so that they can take their time moving to the cage.
Yeah, a little bit of ice in them.
Yep.
Yeah, just like icing a kicker in the NFL. It's very real, just making somebody wait. Conor McGregor at the press conference, 15 minutes late, and Khabib left. Very smart to just not wait around on an opponent.
Yeah, very smart. But sometimes, you don't really have a
At
choice.
the fight, you don't have a choice. You're going to sit here until Scotty and the commission get everything together, until the first responders are back and we're ready to go.
Now, we have had an instance in the past where one of the fighters had to be taken by the paramedics to the hospital to be checked out. He actually he had a blood sugar issue, and they had to take him out. And we weren't able to start the fights back up until a new set of paramedics showed up on the scene so that they could be here. So they had to arrange a swap out. It took about a half an hour total time. So if that does happen here, it's still a pretty quick turnaround.
It is. It really is. To get 2 qualified EMTs and first responders cage side, a half hour is an amazing response time.
Yeah, especially when this is not the emergency response.
No, this is not an emergency response, people. This isn't calling 911 for Salt Lake.
Yeah, they're a lot faster if there's something wrong with you. This is just coming out for, a little side job.
Yeah, it is, and it's unfortunate it's taken a minute, but the fighters definitely understand. You can see they're both staying calm and composed. It doesn't seem there's any bad animosity between
All right,
the two.
I'm getting a
no
thumbs
grudges.
up from the
Just
doc.
two
We're
guys
going to
who
get
wanna fight.
everybody ready to rock and roll. One more time, make some noise. Fighting out of the red corner, Xavier Jimenez. His opponent tonight taking care of business out of the black corner, Slade Nevarez.
All right, looks like we're underway.
All right, so in case you didn't hear what Dave said, in the red corner with the solid black trunks, you've got Xavier Jimenez, and out of the black corner with the with the black and gold
And the
trunks,
great mustache.
and the beautiful mustache, you've got Slade.
Yeah, and what an aggressive move to take the center of the octagon by Xavier.
He was doing a really good job circling out, but that's what you were talking about before with that head movement, that really unorthodox.
That erratic pattern you just can't pick up on. It's hard to break.
It very similar to his coach and teammate, that bouncing back and forth and moving his head.
Yeah, so that's a great style. Now we'll see how that pays out in that third round. See if we have that lightness on our feet and that motion. It's a really hard thing to keep up for 3 rounds.
Yeah, it works well for Carson Gregory, but let's see how it works for Xavier. And so far, it doesn't seem to be working against him at all. He's landed some crisp shots.
No, and he's making his opponent miss by large margins. I mean, you can see the jab is 12 inches off his face.
Yeah, it's because you can't judge his distance.
Right, and distance and timing are everything in fighting, along with angles. And so where these guys are all off on their own, it's really hard to game plan for them, real hard to pick up. You can't get a look like that in your gym like you can a Muay Thai guy or a straight wrestler.
Right. I think the closest thing I see to that, to some of our traditional MMA fighters that do Muay Thai and boxing and stuff like that mix it up, they don't get that kind of head movement constantly, but what they'll do is in between, exchanges,
Here we go.
Big
Xavier
heavy
with
hands.
a great shot to the head. I'd like to see him work the body a little bit, though.
I'd like to see Slade try and circle away or just like that, throw a knee and actually.
Yeah, make him respect that space. Get him out of that phone booth fighting area, because the longer you stay in there, the more you get hurt.
Yeah, and Slade needs to be careful, that automatic response, grabbing the head and pulling it down for that knee. This is an amateur fight, and in the state of Utah, you cannot knee or elbow to the head of an opponent in amateur fighting.
Yeah, and it would be a shame to see a great shot end a fight just because it was illegal at the amateur level.
Yeah.
But looks like Slade's recovered. Looks like he's finding his space. The rhythm's not changing with Xavier now. Now it's a very predictable rhythm. This is where you can see him get hurt, get caught.
Well, and Slade did a very smart thing there, trying to go for the leg, but unfortunately he did what a lot of people do when they've taken some damage, and he didn't shoot in, he reached in for the leg.
Yeah, so he didn't change levels at the booty, he just dropped his head, which is a bad deal, guys. Like, that's how you get stuck in a guillotine. That's how you get stuck underneath somebody. Now, you're bearing Xavier's weight while you're tired. That's a bad day.
Yeah, and the one thing is he's got his shoulder in. He's not really in danger of getting guillotined, but the thing is exactly what you said. He's got to take all of the weight of Xavier while he sits there against the cage, trying to fight off the hands.
Yeah, and that weight's right on his neck, which makes you a lot more susceptible to being knocked out, because now your head snaps back faster. Very nice knee on that leaving the exchange, but it looks like he's cut under the eye. Doesn't look like it's bleeding into it, but he's definitely cut.
Yeah, one thing I was going to say about Slade that nice
Slade
hand.
rallying back for this round. He's looking great. What a finish to the round, Matt.
That was a great reversal from what we saw earlier. I think that Xavier did exactly what I was hoping Slade would do earlier, in that instead of staying and covering up against the cage when he was getting that exchange, he shot his body, he sprinted away from him to the outside.
Absolutely, got back on the outside, and you can see that Xavier's timing's changed. That rhythm is now much more predictable. His feet are setting, and he's picking shots because he had success.
He had success, and those heavy hands that he was throwing, those were not beautiful punches. They were hard punches.
Yes.
And they take your wind away. Even if you're training for 5-minute rounds.
Even if you're a great fighter, go hit the heavy bag with 10 hard, solid shots. You're going to be winded.
Exactly. And even if you're not breathing super hard, your arms are heavier and your movement slows.
Yeah, and once your movement slows and your feet plant because you've had success, it's hard to get away from that pattern, because a pattern that's built on success is something our body accepts and moves towards.
Yeah, I like having you here, Mark. I really do.
Thanks, Matt.
See, I would just say something stupid. That was actually intelligent. I like it.
That's one of the problems with success, though, is it builds feedback loops that can lead to our downfall. Like I talked about my fighter, Joe Rodriguez, in his last fight. Fell in love with moving to his right hand and worked for 2 rounds.
Until it didn't.
Until it didn't, exactly. So it looks like we were picking back up that rhythm and that unpredictability, which I really like to see. That's a good in-round adjustment. That's a good adjustment.
He is doing that side-to-side motion and front-to-back stepping, but nowhere near with the same amount of head movement.
No, the head movement's dead. He's head hunting. He's looking to connect.
Because he knows that they're landing, and he knows that if he lands a solid one, the reaction that he's gotten out of Slade is to curl down.
Right, and I'd much rather have Slade curl down than teeing off on the cage side here.
Slade
he looks to be very powerful with those knees.
He needs to be careful, though, because he's going back to that traditional Muay Thai, grab the head and knee.
He is, but he's stayed to the body so far. He's done a great job, been very disciplined with it.
There's been 2 times that scared me. Oh,
very nice left hook, very nice left hook. And this is the spot. This is that trouble spot where you just start chasing too much. It's good to see Slade show some patience and get back in that pocket.
And this is a complete reversal of how the round started off in the first round.
This is, but if you look at Xavier's face, he's not too tore up right now. He's present. He's ready to fight.
He's not very tore up, but he is sucking wind right now. And those knees to the body are definitely going to take it out of him.
They are. He needs to circle off this cage and get back to that distance. He's had much more success at range.
I don't think he's in it enough to consider that. He's just trying to stop the punches.
Yep, he's surviving right now, which is a bad place to be with somebody pressing this pace on you.
Yep, that's where autopilot comes into play. When you start getting hit repeatedly, autopilot tends to take over, and a lot of time technique goes right out the window.
It does, and especially when you're an inexperienced fighter. They say there's fight or flight. There's actually a third one, freeze.
Yep.
Freeze is the most common one in every response. And we can see him do that right now.
Big right hand by Slade. And Xavier is wobbling right now.
Yeah, Slade is looking great with that straight left.
Oh, this fight is over, ladies and gentlemen.
What a reversal from that round.
Right at about 1 minute, 54 seconds into round number 2 with a beautiful uppercut by Slade.
Yeah, a great straight left hand to press him to the cage, and then a nice uppercut to finish it out.
That was beautiful, clean, and crisp, and I think that Slade did a great job taking advantage of the slowdown.
Yeah, that slowdown changed the fight dramatically.
Yeah.
And not just that, he did a great job of when he was pressing the pace, not blowing his energy all at once.
No, he picked the shots. He did throw consecutive shots. It wasn't just one and then walk away.
Looked like a Diaz brother to me, picking shots until it was time. Just volume, then put the power behind it. Great job.
Great job. You know what? Let's take it to the cage and make this thing official. Slade Nevarez comes out here and gets his hand raised in his first ever step into the still fist
And
cage.
what a great win for a great mustache.
Oh, the win was almost as good as the mustache. That was a great win.
Now you guys can keep that up. Make some noise for a couple of warriors on that one. All right, gentlemen, can I get both fighters to the center of the ring, please? Both fighters to the center of the ring. One more time, gang. Let them know what you think of that fight. Your winner, 1 minute 55 seconds into round number 2 by knockout. Out of the black corner, Slade Nevarez.
That was good.
with your winner, Slade Nevarez. Holy crap. First, I got to comment on that stash. That thing is beautiful, man. Beautiful. All right, you came out here in your very first fight and started out with a war with your back against the cage and turned it completely around in the second. How are you feeling right now?
Fucking fantastic.
That's all.
Yeah, fucking fantastic.
Outstanding, man. Is there anyone you want to thank for this night?
I want to thank my camp, my corner, everybody that came out to support me. I don't know, everybody's been there for me. I got a huge support system, so I just want to thank them.
All right. Now, did anything in that fight catch you off guard?
No.
Just fucking fantastic. That's
Just fucking fantastic.
outstanding. All right, man. Are you going to come back here and do this again?
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to.
All right, man. We can't wait to see you. Congratulations. Everyone give it up for your winner, Slade Nevarez.
I bet you can't do that again. We're just going to say it was fantastic because it is an all-ages show. It was fantastic. Wait a minute, Slade, you're walking out of here with your first win? Slade, was this your first win? All right, that's fucking fantastic. Sorry, I had to. All right, tell you what, another fantastic thing. We're going to take a quick break. You got about 5 minutes. Go grab some buds, get something to drink. Go check out all the vendors. Make